This is Arukh Shulchan Yeridea Siman Chav Tes Sif Test Yud Aleph. Hopefully today will be more intelligible than it was the past couple of days. Today is Supplemental Day. Today it's 152. Let's see. No, 151 of the Arukh Shulchan Yomi. Okay, Tess. Shema Tamar. Maybe you say in King Shnechva Me'achai HaTorfa Biyadav Ragla Makom Shenasa Treifa. This is if the animal's seized back from the animal which is ripping it apart with its hand or its leg, place it doesn't make a treifa. Another person comes and save it. Nikra is treifa. It's called the treifa asur b'achila. It's called a treifa and it's forbidden to eat. Harehu emelakelev tishluchino. So that's actually the answer. The question was, any time the animal's ripped, even a place where it doesn't mortally wounded, right, it should be considered to be treif, even if it can be healed, because the pasuk we brought down at the end of Halacha Ches said, "Kutarefit where your pe'enu." It's treif, even can be healed. Pasuk in Hosea. So that's the case. Any animal, even you saved it from being mortally wounded, once it's been ripped apart, it should be considered to be a chales shem treifa. It's been ripped, so therefore, how can you possibly eat it? So on that he answers, says, throw to the dogs. Lim da Torah, so teaching us a kavana treifa loto chelu, that says, you say, shouldn't you treifa, actually, it's also basa rei la kelev. It's only when it becomes degraded to dog's food. It's interesting, drasha. I think this, or I don't think I've ever seen this anywhere else, so this must be Arukh HaShulchan's own drasha in order to resolve the right of Pasuk in Hosea, which I think also, I don't know if I've ever seen Chazal bring that Pasuk in Hosea. Seems like something where, which the Arukh HaShulchan is actually grappling with as primary source. So as he says, it's only when we won't be able to survive from this wound. If it's the tamus and found house is going to die. Is going to be tossed to the dogs. Even though it's still alive at this point. And the tree is not affected by it. There's a shame treifa. The only effect that a shchita has on this animal is that it's going to make it ois nevela. Lenient tuma in terms of tuma, that's not going to be metame. It's also bachila, but not metame. Now the meaning of the pasuk in the Chumash, basar b'sei treifa lo sochelu, ma'elcha bo hetay achil afshet tishchetena. Meat which came ripped up in the field, you cannot eat it. In other words, you have no head to eat it, even if you shechted. Abishim tumas nevela tatzilena. You'll not be able to save it from becoming tummy as a nevela. Konkam lo tachlena, nevertheless you may not eat it. L'kev tashchin lo sokin nevela, and you have to toss it to a dog like a nevela. Maybe you'll say Shakasav lost a treifa action eat from Mechayos or Yar. Maybe you say the possible it's only a treifa when it's ripped up by a wild animal, an animal of the forest, Konari, such as a lion, or a mare or a tiger, should or Basadeh, who literally means to trample on it, but here it means to rip it apart. In the field, it's still like much goes up. No, Shamine trephos, but other types of trophios, such as where the lung is pierced, or dakin, or the intestines are pierced, or nefula, or it fell and it became broken. Chomei tarfios, and all other tarfios, maybe they don't answer the animal. I can't say that. The bail of us treifa. The Torah forbade nevela and forbade trefa. So like a mamotzino. My nevela chilak about mesa machmas after nevela. There's no difference when it dies on its own. Mesa machmas chai whether it dies on account of another animal. Bein masa mesa machmas if it dies on account of falling. Oh chanika or suffocation. Oh makas cherem or a sword smiting it. Etc. They were only distinguished by trefa. Ben nitrafa misivas chai whether it becomes trefa on account of another animal, a wild animal. It becomes tibachers and trefa on account of another reason. If you don't know that trefa, even if it's born trefa. Arei surah b'achila, it's forbidden to eat. Okay, lo menemar b'torah trefa. So why does the Torah use the terminology trefa? It sounds like it's got ripped up by another animal. Also say about a normative circumstance. They should go by a main breed because most animals are healthy. But the trefas befell them. So that now they can no longer live a long life. They were born this way. Like the Chachamim taught us in the Mishnah that anything which cannot survive in this state is considered a trefa. There's no distinction how it happened. Shem Loto Arkim don't say this. We go after the literal meaning of the pasuk. We shouldn't ask even it became trefa from a wild animal in your house. Trefa says the meat in the field is trefa. Normally say, but the sada dafka is got to be simply in the field. Loba, it's not a house. That's absurd. Clearly, the pasuk about the normative case. Showing this Chazal expound the Mechilta Mishpatim, Mayin Shom, Rambam Shom. So it's expound the Mishnah in the Rambam. The Trefa Losh Shvir. Furthermore, the language of Trefa is a language of brokenness. Moshem Uncle's Kam Komasal Trefa Tevira. Uncle's places translates Trefa as Tevira, which Aramaic obviously means Shavur, broken. It's not in the totality, in the perfection of its life force. Therefore, any type of prohibition in a behema Torah, which causes it to be forbidden to eat, is called b'shem trefa. It's called trefa because it is zu brochen. It's broken. It's diminished in its chiyus. Yurav. 8 general categories of trefas in the state of Moshe B'Sinai. The way to remember them is Don Chanak Nefesh. Those are Rosh Tevos. And suffocated a soul. Those trefas stand for Drusa, which is ripped apart. Nakuva, pierced. Chasera, missing. Natula, removed. Krua, ripped. Of course, Drusa is also ripped, but Drusa is written by another animal. Krua is just ripped another way. Fula broke, it fell. Besuka, something snapped. Shvura, broken. All types of trefas fall into one of these 8 categories. The Shivim trefas, is 70 trefas. Always in the third paragraph. And according to Arukh HaShulchan, these trefas were actually received from generation from generation back to Moshe Rabbeinu to Am Yisrael, like all Torah Sheba'al Peh, which is an interesting perspective, which is not necessarily perspective of the Chazon Ish and others who hold that there was Nimsa L'Chachamim. Maybe you'll ask, Lama Lano Al Drusa Alachim Moshe B'Sinai? Why did he on Drusa, which is ripped apart by a wild animal? Alachim Moshe B'Sinai Reimu Fucheshes He B'Torah. It's explicit in Torah. Mikra the Basar Basar Treifa. That's what the pasuk is talking about. That's the pasuk. Okay, it's not like that. The dinim harbe yesh bejusa. Many lochas bejusa. Moshe jusa elabiyad of tziporet, such as there's no this drisa is only problem if it's done by the hand of the wild animal, the foreleg, and with the nail of the wild animal, votim and other halachas. Shkoza ein lem remas mikra. No, this is alluded to in the pasuk. Moshe Rabbeinu say. Therefore, this comes as a meseicha from Moshe Meir Hasina. Brackets, he says, if he says high klola ula amra daf mem gimel. This statement, this general principle stated by ula daf mem gimel. V'amasham lafuki lakusa derachish. It comes to to preclude a rottenness in which is enumerated by the Amora Rachish of the Luxa Bakula Treifa. He says that if it has this rot in the kidney, it's Treifa. But we hold like Rachish, which goes some Simendal, and it doesn't fit in any of the categories. That is looks of categories. There's that Achred Lokaim Karachish. Since we don't hold like Rachish under all circumstances, only where this rottenness in the kidney extends to the place where there's a furrow, the place where the sinews are attached to the kidney. It's considered to be that it's removed, and therefore falls in that category. But Uli can't say that because Rachish himself, who did not mention the Mokum Chritz, so there's no removal there. So you have to say something by the buka, by the calf, the bottom of the thigh, where the ikol niva, where it's the fibers, which are the ligaments there are become rotten. You have to say that too is included in the category of Natula, because it says once they rot, it's as if they're removed. Okay, Baduk, and that is the only way in which to put these two types of rottenness, or I guess we call them infections in our lexicon, can be included in Treifa if you include them in the Tula. Okay. Be as it may, we'll stop here for today. It was actually much better today than yesterday.